Okay, this is as good a place as any to begin. Isla Matanceros. It's relatively stable. Yeah, you can get your feet wet here, and you should. Because diving into the deep end of the pool is where the big, angry, hungry things are, and you want to be ready before you try that.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff Goldblum. Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. Well, I've been playing a lot of Jurassic World Evolution, and I thought I would give you a little talk through of my early gameplay.
I'm Cabot Finch, Public Relations and Crisis Management, and I'm here to help you. You'll start by building a Hammond Creation Lab. We've already started on an enclosure for you. You should just attach it to the side. But watch out for dinosaurs. Ah, just kidding.
Thank you. Right, so I'll talk you through this gameplay because I want to give you a few tips and tricks as well, because this was the first time I played it and I made a couple of errors, and I just want to point out some of the errors that I made to you, and also some little tips and tricks when you're playing the game when you first put it on. It's fairly simple to learn how to play the game. It does give you a pretty decent guide, if you like, a decent tutorial, but there's a few things that it doesn't tell you particularly well, and it does leave you with a little bit of guesswork. So I'll talk you through some of it as well and let you know some easier ways to do things. Now, I'm no expert on the game just yet, not by any stretch, and at the end of this video you'll see my 3-star island for the very first island, and for you to be able to unlock the second island you need to get at least 3 stars. So I'll show you what a 3-star island looks like on the first island.
Let's focus on what you're here to do, which is create dinosaur facilities on the islands we call the 5 Deaths. Actually, Las Cinco Muertes, because Spanish is the lingo of choice around here.
So we're building now, it's like the Hammond Research Centre.
You'll need to connect it to the pre-existing network of paths and the power grid.
So like most building games, if you're used to building games, you'll be used to this. You have to connect paths up. Very simply done. You bring down your menu on the left hand side, and then you choose your path.
Now comes the real test, incubating a dinosaur. You'll start with a Struthiomimus. Select the creation lab and pick a hatchery bay. There's enough genome data for your first viable dinosaur.
Right, so you click on here, the creation lab. You click on a hatching bay. It gives you your first dinosaur. It's only a little tiny thing. That one on the left hand side there. And you need, it's usually...
The ambitious, undoing extinction, playing with nature's laws. What can possibly go wrong?
Come on, Doctor. You know we've learned so much and invested even more in our Jurassic operations since the last time.
Yes, Mr. Finch, yes, the last time. There's always a last time. And a next.
Thank you, Mr. Goldblum. Yep, so you need at least 50% of the DNA to hatch a dinosaur, basically. And this is our first dinosaur.
Life. It begins. The most precious moment. The result of incalculable actions and reactions, trials and errors, genetic mutations and unknowable combinations, chaos, all leading to a living, breathing, thinking being, an entity, distinct and unique. And now we, you, just manufacture them. So, well done, I guess.
He's great, he's Goldblum in there. Right, so as you can see, the graphics of the dinosaurs are pretty special in this game. In fact, the graphics overall in this game are pretty special. Now, all the dinosaurs that you create, you can see all the stats for them. There you go. It gives you their ideal situation. The red, you want to keep out of the red and in the blue in regards to keeping it happy and healthy. You can rename all your dinosaurs. And you can just watch them endlessly if you choose to. Right. Okay, so we have our first dinosaur.
The Hammond Foundation has 3 main areas of interest: security, entertainment, and science. I've already nudged the heads of each division to reach out to you personally. They'll offer opportunities and incentives for you to be part of their team. Choose one of their contracts. It'll help you develop your facility.
Okay, so you've got security, entertainment and science. And basically, they offer you jobs, missions. If you
This is Lambert, head of security.
I'll explain it a bit more in a minute.
Yours, theirs, and mine. Welcome to the islands. So here's our basic conundrum. We want to keep our animals under control while simultaneously encouraging instinctive behaviors, because these animals have potential as combatants. Look, everyone's fear object, myself included, is to have these animals running free and loose in the park. But we can't exploit them globally without taking some chances.
Right, can we talk? Yeah, so you've got your 3 factions: security, entertainment and science. They'll each offer you missions, some of them more important than others. If you keep choosing...
Contracts can be requested from the division heads inside the control room.
Yes, we know.
Complete these to increase your reputation and gain additional revenue to keep expanding your park.
Right, so if you choose too many security missions, the entertainment guy will get annoyed and he might sabotage the park. Same if you choose too much science, the security guy might sabotage the park. It's a bit bonkers, but that's how it works. So the best thing to do is basically balance it out, and it gives you a bar. You see the bottom right hand side, it shows you there you've got your science, entertainment and security. If you're going too heavy on one bar, just choose a mission on one of the others and just try and keep them balanced out, and then you've less chance of your own staff sabotaging the park, unless that's what you want. So right now we are building the expedition center. This is what you need to send your helicopter out on expeditions.
Your rep, quote unquote. Keep an eye on it, okay? If you have a solid reputation with a division, you're more likely to benefit from them. Financially, I mean. But, like life, it's a balancing act. Each division is vying for your attention, and if they don't get it, they tend to take it personally.
Yeah, in other words, they sabotage your park. So this is the expedition center. This is where you send off your helicopter to find more dinosaur DNA all over the world.
Well done. And you'll notice absolutely no hint of sarcasm. Unless you listen real closely.
Gets right on my nerves, this
So
guy.
what I meant to say is that completing that contract has raised your standing. Your reputation, if you will, with the security division. This means they'll be willing to give you more difficult missions.
So you see the security bar has just gone up ever so slightly because this was a security mission. See? So we're just going to get a transmission.
Lambert here. I've got a new assignment that I think is perfect for your
Now this is a major mission. You can see the money you get for this on the rewards.
Let me know if you're interested.
You get 1 million. So you choose them. If you get offered 1 million, it's ones you have to choose.
As you can imagine, the animals in the various facilities are constantly probing for weaknesses in our security systems. They're smarter and more devious than people give them credit for. But I refuse to underestimate their capabilities. That's why I'm always testing and evaluating our security protocols and barriers. This is where you come in.
I've got to give this guy Lambert his due. He actually sees these animals as both opportunity and threat.
I'm gonna need you to extract enough DNA from fossils to incubate and hatch a dinosaur. This is the first phase of this mission. Carry on.
Right, so you need 50% genome to hatch a dinosaur. Now you get that from fossils.
Expedition Center will allow you to send dig teams around the world in search of new dino fossils. DNA can be extracted from these fossils, which our scientists can then turn into living, breathing dinosaurs. And that's our true lifeblood.
Thank you. We know this. I've just said this. It's dead easy to do, the Expedition Center stuff, to get the DNA. Right, so you go to your expedition map. The yellow dots are the viable ones. This is me just having a little look around. But we don't need to look at this. So yeah. You've got research, you can research loads of stuff, but we won't focus on that right now. So these are your fossils, you see. These are the ones that I've already have. If you extract DNA, you will improve.
Lets you extract DNA from fossils and amber in order to create new dinosaur genomes. Exciting!
Yes, I was just saying that. So yeah, you can extract DNA and it will improve the percentage of the dinosaur genome. 50% is the minimum, but the higher the percentage, the better quality dinosaur you will get, basically. So that's what I have so far in my inventory. But if you want more, you have to go to the dig sites, which I think we should be looking at shortly. There we go. So the yellow dots are the viable dig sites, and those are the dinosaurs. If you dig there, you'll get some DNA for those. You'll get just Triceratops there. Right, so I sent it off and it's just come back now.
You should extract genomes from fossils that have been collected inside your fossil center. That will increase the amount of viable data you have to create dinosaurs.
There we go, you see, it came back from that dig site. And it's got some amber. And it's got some silver as well, I think that is. You can sell the silver, because you don't need to do anything with that. There you go, it is silver. You can just sell that. And you'll get like 120,000 for it. So these are all the fossils I have right now. The one in the amber will get you some good quality dinosaur genome. So you extract that, takes about a minute, something like that. The more you extract, the better quality the dinosaur. Right, so this is me now just experimenting with the landscaping mode. It's actually really easy to use. You can increase the foliage in the trees, the waters, or reduce it. And some dinosaurs prefer a lot of it, some less. It's pretty cool. I have to say, guys, just experiment with it. It's really good. You can lower and smooth out the terrain as well. I have to say, I was quite impressed with this, and I've experimented with it quite a lot. And all I'd suggest, guys, is you do the same. Just experiment with it. It's dead easy. Such a pretty game. Hello, Bert. Right, so I'm just building, as you can see there, the security mission. One of the parameters for it is to build an ACU center. And basically the ACU center is the helicopter that you send out to tranquilize the dinosaurs if they misbehave, and also the transport you send out to pick up the sedated dinosaurs or even the dead dinosaurs. So it's an important station, this one, and we'll see it in action soon. Remember to connect the path. We'll come on a little bit later to the power thing, but if you're familiar with building games, it won't really be a problem, the power thing. It's a little fiddly, but they usually are. It's just basically a case of connecting the pylons and substations, and then when you run out of power, just build another power station. Simple as that, really. But we'll talk about it a little bit more later. Right, I want to point out, this is a mistake I made. You see those ground feeders? There's one there, there's one there, and there's one there. I put 3 in here. Big mistake. You only need 1, guys. In my finished park, I only have 1 of them to feed about 9 herbivores. So you just have to keep restocking it, basically. So don't make that mistake, guys, because they're quite expensive. Just put 1 in, not 3. Very pretty. My second dinosaur. And every time you release a dinosaur, you hear it over the tannoy there, the announcement. They announce it to the guests. It's very, very immersive, this game. There we go, he's having a drink.
Right. This next bit is gonna sound a little crazy because frankly, it is. But we are gonna encourage one of the dinosaurs to breach our containment grid. We'll then react and see if our procedures and personnel are up to the challenge.
Yes. So at this point, I'd like to take back everything I just said about this guy.
Right. So what this mission basically is, you have to, it wants you to open the gate. Okay. And the dinosaur will escape. And you have to sedate it.
Or asset containment unit should be your first port of call to bring down a rampaging dinosaur.
Now, when you get a bit better at the game, you get a lot faster at this. But I was a bit unsure as what I was doing here. So, and I actually choose to pilot the helicopter. But if you want to do it fast, just go to the add task bit and tell it what to do rather than doing it yourself.
Time to tag him and bag him. We're using less than lethal, but remember, that dinosaur doesn't know this is just supposed to be a drill. So watch your back.
While I understand the need to keep our security as sharp as possible, this is not the way I would go about doing it.
You have a problem with how we keep you safe, Doctor. I'm happy to discuss it.
I mean, look at that, it's fantastic.
Right now, we have our hands full.
Now, I'll apologise in advance because this is the first time I've ever done it and I'm a terrible shot. It does take me a while to tranquilise the thing because I've got to figure out how to fly the helicopter and figure out the aiming of the gun. So, be warned, guys. I mean, it looks great, doesn't it? The game, it really, really looks fab. Can't fault the graphics on it and the attention to detail.
Shot off target.
Yeah, we know. There we go. Now at this point, I think I've done my job. I'm thinking, yay, go me. But because it's a big dinosaur, it's not enough. It needs another sedative. But I don't realise this at the minute. I'm waiting for it to fall asleep. And it's not. It's running away. So I decided to have another go at it. Brings up the tutorial for the shooting a bit late, but there you go. At least you get one. There we go. Now you can research upgrades for all this stuff, for your aiming and reload speed and all that kind of stuff in the research centre, and it's fairly well self-explanatory, the research centre. We don't need to spend much time in that. It's just deciding what you want to research, prioritising. See that was going to be a perfect shot, but it moved at the last second. And what I didn't realise as well is I thought you had to switch to the helicopter to move and then switch back to the guy shooting. But you actually don't. You can steer the helicopter while the guy's still in his firing position. You can see there, I've just figured it out. See, you can move the helicopter. Makes it much easier. Don't worry, we get there eventually. And I do mean eventually. There we go. We get it. And you know you've hit gold. It goes green and tells you the sedation has been successful. So again, at this point, because it's the first time I've ever done it, I think, okay, what do I do now?
You'll need to call in the offshore transport team to safely move this dinosaur back to its enclosure.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, how do I do that then? Gives you a little tutorial. Kind of. So I'm thinking, well, I need to take this helicopter back. In actual fact, you don't. If you just back out of it, it'll come back on its own. Because you can't land it. And then you just click left one or right one, I can't remember which one it is. And you go to transport team. You highlight the dinosaur. And then you choose where they're taking it. And you want to just take it back in the pen. Now, I made an error. As you can see there, I didn't close the gate. And can you see at the top of the screen there, Bert's done a runner and I don't spot him. So later on in the game, for the life of me, I could not find Bert anywhere. And I found him wandering around the park and I had no idea why. And that was why, because I left the gate open. So there's a tip for you guys. Don't leave the gate open. So there we go. It's heading back. Sort me my account, there we go. So there we go, safe and sound, back home.
Asset has been transported.
So there you go, I got $1 million for that, for doing that mission with the security guy.
And that's the job finished. True and square.
So anytime you get a mission and it's $1 million prize, do it, accept it, because you know normally they only give you like 150, 250 grand for missions, something like.
Guess we'll find out who gets to the limits of our abilities first. Us or them. Ever vigilant.
And that's always been the challenge of the Jurassic industrial complex. Exploitation versus security. The immense potential for profit and for violence.
Right. So there we go, he's back in the park. In his pen. Safe and sound. Right, so let's have a look. What should we put in now? The viewing gallery. Yeah, we'll put the viewing gallery in, and then it's likely to need power, so I'll show you how to do the power. So the viewing gallery is obviously for the paying customers to have a nosy at the dinosaurs. So you connect it into the fence. Again, connect the path if you have to, and we do. I did it wrong. Oh yeah. So that red thing on the top there is telling you it's gonna need power. You're not gonna have enough power. Oh yeah, that's your viewing gallery. No power. And this is me trying to figure out what you do. So what you basically do, get yourself a substation. Place it down. And then basically just connect it to the other pylons.
That is a textbook
There you
example
go,
of
we've got the
doing it
power
right.
there. There's enough power there now. Now as you spread around the park, you're going to have to spread your pylons around the park, and eventually you'll have to build another power station too. So it's a combination of power stations, substations and pylons.
I'm Owen Grady, Owen to my friends. I've seen things I'd rather not talk about, but it hasn't dampened my commitment to the dinosaurs. Raptors more generally, and me and Blue specifically. We have a special relationship, like what I have with Claire. Less complicated. Anyway, nice to meet you.
Wow.
Power is something we simply cannot ignore when it comes to our operations. Without power, we don't have any power.
Wow. Yeah, so it's a combination, like I say, of power stations, substations and pylons. And you see the big circles there, the white circles surrounding everything? That tells you the coverage of the power, basically. It's dead easy, just experiment with it guys as well. But if you're used to building games, it won't be a problem. So there we go guys, we're near, I think we're nearly at the end of this basic tutorial. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to show you. Yes, I think there is, because I make a bit of an error. So I'll show you that as well, because I remember making this error. Yeah. I wanted to build myself a new enclosure for the carnivores, because you don't want to put the carnivores in with the herbivores. But I make a critical error at this point in the game, because I don't do it when I have enough money, and I don't realise it. So this is me using the landscape tool again, and you can see I'm getting rid of the water. It's a really good way of wiping away and giving yourself room. So you can get rid of the water, you can get rid of trees, foliage, all that kind of stuff. It's dead easy to use. So I end up making what I think is a really cool enclosure. And again, this is me just learning. When you're building yourself...
The numbers are looking great.
Thank you. When you're building yourself a new enclosure, okay, it's saying there's an obstruction. Now the obstruction is the path and the fence, more so the path. So I need to get rid of the path. And that tree it's just grown back immediately. It's the fastest growing tree in the world. I need to get rid of that fence. So you go to destruction or demolish mode, get rid of that fence, because at this point I've built a nice little fence all the way around there, you see it? Thinking this is going to be a belting enclosure for the carnivores. But you can see on the bottom left, and I mean, yeah, the bottom menu there, I just don't have an awful lot of money. You shouldn't be doing this really until you've got maybe a couple of million at least. But it's good for you to see how to, you know, build yourself a new enclosure. There we go. Now with the carnivores as well, you need the electric fence. The herbivores have just got the normal steel fence, if you like. This is the electrified fence. It's the other way around. Now I still need to, as you can see there, get rid of some trees and stuff. Back to enclosures. Have I done it? There we are, you see. There we are. So I'm thinking, yes, I've done it. I've got my enclosure for the carnivores. And I realise here I've done the path too big. Oh yeah.
Don't look at this as extra work. Look at it as extra money and experience.
So there's me thinking, there's my new enclosure ready and waiting. But look how much money I've got left. Very, very little. And then I go and waste more of it by putting down a carnivore feeder. for 200 grand. And I end up with no money left, and that was the big mistake I made on this map, guys. I ended up with nothing left, and I was really struggling from this point on. So don't do that. Don't build a second enclosure until you have at least 2 million in the bank. So now this is me on my level 3 and a bit star island. So I have now unlocked the second island, but I'm going to give you a tour of this first island now. This is a 3-star island. So let's have a little drive around in the Jeep and I'll give you a tour. This is a really cool feature. There we go. It's such a cool feature, this, guys. The graphics are amazing. Even the crowds look really cool as well. Normally they look terrible in games like this. So, and you even get announcements when the storm's passing. So that's your storm shelter there on the left. That's if it's just a really bad storm, you can send the crowds into there.
Weather conditions stabilizing.
Yep. That's your fossil centre on the left. These are a good way to make money fairly quickly as well. It's make sure you put your shops for the people down. Clothes shops, gift shops, restaurants, hotel when you can afford it. It's quite expensive, the hotel. And make sure you go into the shops and the clothes shop and manage them so that they actually make money. This is a really cool part of the game. You can hear once this is where the crowds arrive. Listen to this.
Welcome to Jurassic World. We hope you have a safe and enjoyable stay with us.
Amazing. It even does it in other languages. That is such great attention to detail. It really does add to the atmosphere of the game. So let's have a look at some dinosaurs now, because I have a few more, especially in the herbivore pen. Let's have a look. There we are. I think there's about 8, 9, 10 dinosaurs in here. I think there's about 3 or 4 different species, but the herbivores are quite social, so you can mix them up. Got that beautiful thing there. Take a picture of it. You could take a picture in the Jeep mode, and you make money from your pictures. Get a picture with 2 or 3 dinosaurs in it, it makes a load of money. Triceratops up here. Look how beautiful this looks. That's it. And you can see in this one I've only got 1 feeder. And you need this Jeep to resupply it.
Supplies refilled.
Now you can either do it yourself or get it to do it on its own, the Jeep. We have another one here. Oh, look, I love it. It's pushing the Jeep, look. It's brilliant. And then somehow it pulls off a magic trick. Look at this, straight through the Jeep. Look at that. So the herbivore pen is nicely packed full of herbivores, all getting along nicely. The one that was pushing the jeep is a very social animal. You have to put quite a few creatures in there to keep it company, otherwise it will break out. It did with me a couple of times till I figured out what it needed. And it's very social, so you have to put at least 8 other animals in there with it, or it won't be happy. So let's have a look at the carnivore now. Now in the first park you only really have access to one carnivore to start with, and it is in here. Well, there's 3 of them. There we go. Let's resupply the meat. Now let's see if we can get him to eat something. I'll use the second feeder, because the second feeder is very interesting. You'll recognise this from Jurassic Park. Poor little bugger. It's a little goat. That's usually very attractive to them. But as you'll see, which I think is really cool, it reacts to me. It doesn't like me here. Neither does that one. They haven't attacked me yet, but I don't know if they do. But they're certainly not happy about me in here. See? It's going for goat now. Cool. Let's get out of here. Look at that detail of the crowd, it's amazing. Easily the best crowds I've seen in a building game, and I play a lot of building games. Really cool features in this game, guys, I have to say. Absolutely loving this game so far. Can't wait to get to the second, third, fourth island and the sandbox island. So that's your expedition helicopter. Show you around the other side. That's a storm protector thing there. If you get them near your buildings, it'll protect them from the storm. This is the hotel. It's a huge bugger, the hotel, and I think it's about 750,000, so don't buy it early on in the game. Definitely wait until you've got about 3 or 4 million. Yeah, I'll learn to drive soon. Some is that a restaurant again? Yeah, fast food place. And the gift shop, or the clothes shop. So there we go, guys. That is a little bit of a beginner's guide for you, some tips and tricks for the first time you play it, avoid some mistakes that I made. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching, everybody.